What's up, everybody? How's it going? How's it do? How's it be? I hope you're doing fantastic. And today's a little bit of a different video from what I'd normally be doing. We got a story time. I'm gonna be talking about the time that I accidentally took Suboxone, thinking it was Xanax or liquid Xanax, quote unquote, but we'll get into that. We'll probably have some gameplay of San Andreas going on up here, some modded San Andreas multiplayer. But yeah, if you like this kind of video, show some love, and yeah, without further ado, I'm gonna get right into it. So, this story takes place, I was with an older homie who was an older brother of one of my buddies. We'll call him Chris, and then my buddy Max that y'all might know about. And we were on a hunt for the not good old Xanax, the benzodiazepine ladder. And this was years ago. I was probably in, I want to say this was like 2016, 2017. I was probably in sophomore year or freshman year maybe of high school. I can't remember, to be completely honest. And I had been in the habit of consuming half a Xanax by snorting it on my free time, listening to random SoundCloud music and smoking blunts. And this probably went on for like half a week maybe, or like a week, and of me just having Xans and doing them after school and whatnot on my free time. And I had run out, and I was with my older homie who I was doing them with and who was supplying all of the Xanatry that had been going on in during these times. And we were also with Max and CJ, or Chris, god damn it, Chris wanted to go acquire some more from his plug, whoever he knew. They lived about a town over, not a very far drive, probably like a 10-15 minute drive one way. So we went there, or actually no, maybe it was 25 minute drive. And we got there, waited a little bit. Chris came back outside, and he only had a couple bars, and he had said that he basically got the last few that they had, and that was just enough for him and Max for like in the short term. But he had his plug had recommended us to another plug, like another 30 minutes out. So we just were basically like, all right, I mean, we're already out here, so we might as well go all the way. We might as well see it through. We went another 20-30 minutes out to this other person's house. Me and Max have no clue who these people are or what's going on anyways, so we're just kind of relying on our buddy Chris to be a good middleman for us. And he goes in, comes out, and he's a little off about, he's a little like he's like tiptoeing around it. When he gets back in the car, he doesn't like show me what he had got. So I was like, yo, let me see what you got, man. And he was like, okay, he basically just like gave me an option off rip. He was like, so these are called liquid Xans. This is like a sublingual form of Xanax. I was basically very skeptical, as you would imagine, and I was more so concerned that it was going to be a dud and not effective at all. And he told me to take a half of a strip of what he had. They were little orange strips, and I will put a picture up for you if I can find one. And so I took a half a strip, and he basically told me that if I didn't feel it or if it didn't do anything to me, then I could either have my money back or I just wouldn't pay him. So I took it, waited, we rolled up a blunt, we smoked the blunt, and basically after we smoked the blunt hit me, and then the strip hit me, or the half a strip. Let me take a sip of water. So it creeped up on me, and I could feel the effects pretty strongly, fairly quickly after I waited for it to come on, and I was feeling very, very mellow, very schmacked. Nothing really too out of the ordinary, and I was feeling something that was more of what I was concerned with at the time. I thought wasn't gonna feel anything, and we drove for a bit. I got pretty tired. I remember I got really sleepy, and I just couldn't take my head off of my sweatshirt pillow, like on the window. And a good drive back is probably something like 40-50 minutes of a drive back at least. And we eventually get back, drop off Chris like falls asleep very very hard in the front seat, and Max is struggling to wake him up, and he tries to wake me up to wake him up, but I'm so slumped in the back seat that he can't wake either of us up, and he's just sitting there trying to wake us up for a minute. So he eventually gets him up, gets him out of the car. I'm so tired that I just stay in the back seat. I'm in the back seat right now. Max is in the front, so he's like Uber driving me. And we eventually get back home to his house because I was so smacked. I asked if I could stay over his house, I'm pretty sure, because I didn't want to just walk in like, because I knew how smacked I was. I didn't realize how smacked I will end up being, but I knew I was pretty smacked and I didn't want to go home. So we went back to Max's house, and I was so like glued to the window that it made me nauseous just sitting up, raising my head off the like hoodie pillow I had on the window. And I'm like now realizing I basically got the spins. I'm very dizzy. I'm very inebriated, and I feel so heavy. It's like really hard to move, let alone open the door and get out of the door and walk. So Max has to like basically help me out of the car and carry me into his house. We get up to his room, and I'm pretty sure almost immediately I start vomiting, and I just vomit for a good while until I pass out in Max's bed, and then I wake up in the morning still so goddamn beat that I just like I can't even hold water down in the morning. It's like the worst hangover, but even worse. And I felt terrible, so tired I couldn't like get up or move, and the littlest bit of water I would just throw it all up like a good 20-30 minutes after. And yeah, my body was just kind of purging itself. I got like a mini overdose on that shit. I don't even know what it was, or like a dope, maybe reverse dope sick. I don't even know what you would call it, but it was terrible. It was pretty scary, and I was basically, for lack of a better descriptive term, legal opiate hungover until, and like sick until 6 p.m. the next day. And I got picked up by my mom. She brought me home, and I'm pretty sure I sold a homie a bag of weed not too long after I got home, before I had eaten anything. And I had like enough energy to move or do shit at that point. But I know it took a lot of energy to go skateboard into town and do that. So that was very rough. And the worst part was, this is the craziest part of the story. I didn't even know what I had taken or why I felt the way I felt until days later. I got home and basically cut the strips that I had bought from Chris up into little quarters, and I was like, I took way too much. That was basically too much liquid Xan or whatever I thought it was. And I woke up, I think it was 1 or 2 days later after that had happened, and I was just watching YouTube on my phone, and I got an ad on YouTube before whatever video I was trying to watch, and it was an ad for Suboxone. And just out of pure coincidence, at the end of the unskippable ad, or it might have been skippable, I can't remember, but I ended up watching it for some reason, by pure chance. And it shows the actual packaging and what's inside the packaging, like what you end up taking. And it was exactly identical to what Chris had given me 2 days before, claiming it was liquid sublingual Xanax. And I sent him the most pissed off Snapchat, the most pissed off and disappointed Snapchat a little homie could ever send an older homie. Like, I felt so betrayed and disgusted, obviously. And it ended up creating a really good story. And moral of the story is basically, the excitement of anything can lead you in very dangerous places if you're not careful, because you're not using the logical part of your brain if you're very excited about anything. And don't trust anybody's word, especially if it's just like a homie that's doing drugs with you, because we all know how that goes. Everybody claims they're geniuses until shit hits the fan, and then they don't got shit to say, or they act like they weren't even a part of it in the first place, and it's somebody else's fault. So yeah, you gotta think for yourself, and always be cautious and be careful, especially when it comes to your own health and other people's health and safety, because that could have gone, this story, I could have not lived to tell this story. I could have, that plot could have gone very differently had I not been so lucky. And especially if I had not seen that video, God forbid if I gave it to anybody else, or ended up taking it again. Yeah, not cool. So yeah, I took what I believe to be liquid Xans, these orange tabules. Did taste very orangey, had a very strong orange taste. It was like a Listerine strip almost, but with legal heroin inside of it. And it was terrible. 10 out of 10 would not recommend. And stay away from both pills and Suboxone. I wouldn't recommend it. Opiates in general, all the above, wouldn't recommend. I wouldn't recommend any substances to do your own research and deter look at this
No fucking
research
way.
and tread very cautiously when it comes to substances with anything, even alcohol, prescriptions, even if your doctor says you need it. Caffeine, because the combination of caffeine and a prescription, or alcohol and a prescription, is a wild combination. And if you do the research, very, very minimal, not even 5 minutes of research, looking up what the combination of alcohol and whatever your ADHD medication or something else is, what it does, what the combination is, how they mix together. It'll all this stuff will teach you why you need to do a little bit of research on any kind of drug you're taking. Even cough medicine, over-the-counter cough meds. You gotta be careful out there. So, yeah, you gotta be vigilant. Vigilant. Gotta take care of yourself and the people around you as best you can. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Don't always take people's word for it. And yeah, be safe out there. Test your shit if you're doing any shit, because better to be safe than sorry. Yeah. Y'all have a great rest of your day. Appreciate you for stopping by, and if you enjoy these kind of videos, I'm gonna try to keep making them, because I got at least good handful of interesting stories that I want to get out before I lose the memory of some of the details. So yeah, appreciate you. I'm gonna get out of here so y'all can get on with your day, night, morning, whatever it be. Yeah, do say wow.